I've got a problem and I'm coming to YouTube for help. So I've had that 93 Les Paul Studio for a couple years. And just in December, I picked up that 2019 SG Standard. It was such a good deal. I had a hard time passing it up, but now I'm running into, I have two guitars that fill virtually the same role. And when I wrote it down on paper, it doesn't really get any better. I think I know which one I like more, but I thought this would be a fun video to do and just comparing the two. And if the internet can sway me so far one way or the other, it'll either confirm or it might have the possibility of changing my mind on which one to keep. Because I have come to the conclusion that I am going to sell one. I just don't know which one it is. So, tail of the tape. Both guitars, mahogany body, mahogany necks. The SG has a slim taper neck, which I've always thought was like mid 60s. The Les Paul has a just C profile, which I've always heard is like mid 50s. Okay, I do like the neck feel of the SG better. Both Gibson scale length, 24 and 3/4 inches, both 12-inch fretboard radiuses. So far, other than the neck profile, very similar guitars. Rosewood fingerboard with perloid trapezoid inlays. Les Paul ebony fretboard with mother of toilet seat inlays. I've never had a problem with that, but nut width and material. I'm not sure what the material is on that. I think it's 90s. Is it the uh basically the high-tech plastic? If you know it, leave it in the comments. I can't think of it right now. I think it starts with a C. The SG has a Tectoid nut, which is new to me. I just assumed it was either bone or synthetic. Or maybe that's what it is, synthetic, and that's just what they call it. I have no idea. The nut width on the Les Paul, 1.67 inches. The nut width on the SG, 1.7. Both have tunematic bridges. Both have Grover tuners, although I did upgrade that one to a different style tuner. I put more of a vintage style on there. I just like to look better. Pickups. Both neck pickups are the same, the 490R. Now, there is a difference in the bridge pickup. The SG has a 490T, which is supposed to be mimic a PAF, I guess, with a little bit more mids. The Les Paul has a 498T, which I never had a problem with, but it seems like on the internet, forums, whatever, people either love them or hate them. I don't see very many reviews where it's like, oh, it was fine. It was okay. Pickups, though, you can swap pickups pretty easily, so I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, both 2-volume, 2-tone, 3-way selector, nitro finishes. The Les Paul is about 2.5 pounds heavier, coming in at 8.8 pounds, and the SG 6.3 pounds. Both are 22 frets, and I believe they are medium jumbos. So really, it comes down to slightly different neck profile, and then with that, you get a slightly different nut width, and the bridge pickup is different. Now I'm going to put some playing examples in here to get some audio, so it's not me just reading off a page, but I honestly don't think that it'll help. I'm going to play these back to back, and I don't know that there's going to be that much difference where I'm completely blown away by one, just because I've played them both and I know they sound pretty much the same. I'm not going to do a whole, like, every pickup selection, every position pushed, overdriven. I'm going to just play what I like to play. So it's going to be bridge pickup, high gain, and I have two choices. I'm either going to mic up my little Marshall here, or I'm going to go DI into a plugin. And the only reason I'm thinking about going DI into a plugin is just less variables. If I bump the mic stand, if it's not set up quite in the right position, that could actually impact how I feel the guitar sounds. Whereas if I go DI into an amp sim that I've really been enjoying lately, I think that's going to eliminate a lot of variables. And I've actually been playing it a lot more lately, just with other family members in the household, I can go DI, put headphones on, and play that way. So that's something to consider, is how I am actually going to be playing them for practicing and home use. So we'll see. I'll throw some examples in there, and then we'll come back and talk about how it sounds. Did you hear a difference? I don't know that I heard, I don't know that I heard much of a difference. One thing to consider is, if I'm selling one, what is my return to maybe buy another piece of gear? I bought that SG so right that I probably will end up making a pretty good buck on that. So that's something to consider, is I could get rid of the SG, have enough bread to pick up something completely new, save it for a different piece of recording gear, whatever you want to use extra money for. I guess that's, extra money can be spent however. I got a pretty good deal on the Les Paul a couple years ago. I think I bought it for six-ish. So money could probably be made there too. But the thing is, with the SG, I have the case, I have all the documentation from the factory, I have the inspection card, which, if I'm a prospective buyer, like, I want to see that. I don't have any of that with the Les Paul. I don't even have a case for it. It showed up in an incorrect case that doesn't fit it, so I will never use that case again, just out of fear that it, gives me the famous headstock break, or even a heel break, or any sort of break. It's never going back in that case. If I were to sell the Les Paul, now we're talking, how is it going to handle in shipping? What happens if it does break? I've upgraded the tuners, so now you've got screw holes, just stuff that, like, as an owner, doesn't bother me because I'm the one that did it. But as a prospective buyer, I don't know that I'm really going to be super interested in something that someone else has monkeyed around with. So there's that to consider too. I might have to think about it for a little bit. I don't know. Okay, I'll just say it. I think I want to keep the Les Paul. And this is my reasoning. Oh, the 90s studios were something else, something crazy. They don't make them like that anymore. Well, I've heard that about it seems like every era has its own, like, oh, they don't make them like that anymore. Although I do enjoy having the ebony fretboard for whatever reason. I feel like it plays really smooth and it looks sharp, that dark wood. But the thing is, if I sell the Les Paul, I feel like it would be a lot harder to get it back. If I really missed, like, oh, I miss having that 93 Les Paul Studio, it's going to be a bit of a search. I'm sure they're out there, but it's going to be a bit of a search to get that back. If I sell the 2019 SG Standard with rosewood fingerboard and just regular everything else. I feel like unless this guitar specifically has something that others don't, if I sell that one, the SG, and in a week realize like, oh man, I messed up, I could go onto Reverb and I bet there's a thousand SG standards out there that I can buy. And honestly, I kind of like the red better than the black anyway. So if I do make that decision, I would get a red one. I just don't feel like if I let that Les Paul go, it's kind of gone. And maybe you do find another one, but that one is getting to be that's 30 years old now. So what do the pots look like? What do the electronics look like? What is the fret board? What do the frets look like versus a 2-year old, 4-year old standard SG. So I'm leaning keep the Les Paul, sell the SG. But if you can convince me otherwise, if I'm missing such a big piece of this argument, I mean, I'll consider. They're not going anywhere tomorrow. I don't have anything listed, but I would consider selling the Les Paul if someone were to make such a compelling argument. So that's pretty much the video for today. It kind of helped me just making this video to figure out what I wanted to do, but I also welcome any comments from the internet and from YouTube as to what they think I should do. My name is Sam. If you like this kind of stuff, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Most of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed yet. So if you want to click that little button down there, that would be awesome for my channel. And we will catch you on the next one. Thanks.